Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Now let me get this out of the way right away. I've been an AC/DC fan for a long time. Now, I'm not the fan that my wife is. I mean, she's a hardcore fan. She loves all their music. Hell, she even has a birthday that's on the same day of the burial of Bon Scott. But I've enjoyed AC/DC in some fashion for a long time. My first run at AC/DC was in my metal phase. The time of my life when I was binging Aerosmith, early Metallica, and Iron Maiden. So naturally, I was exposed to Hell's Bells around that time. But I've never been what people back then would call a metalhead. Originally, I got into Iron Maiden because of the art. The album covers were something to behold. Besides hearing an Aerosmith on the radio, Iron Man was really my first foray into what is traditionally called heavy metal. And I felt hard into Iron Maiden, collecting all the tapes and playing them repeatedly. But oddly, I haven't retained the lyrics to their music as I seem to have with so many other bands. My wife still loves to play Number of the Beast to this day, and I know the tune and groove along to the beat, but that's kind of about it. I cannot for the life of me sing along with my wife, because I just didn't get into the music as much as she did. But boy did I ever like the art they used in their records. I don't even really remember how AC/DC fell into my ears, but I found myself liking the music. The slow version of heavy metal really caught my attention. I mean, that's what Hell's Bells was. Heavy metal, but a little slower. It wasn't the frantic screaming music of early Metallica. It seemed to have a more methodical approach to the material, and I loved it. I deep dived into the catalog. It wasn't really that big at the time, and I really didn't like Bon Scott's vocals. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it was just a little too gruff and raw, but I got into Brian Johnson's version of, Bon Scott. I didn't know this at the time, but Brian was hired to take the place of the recently deceased Bon Scott because his voice sounded familiar. I had no idea. I honestly thought Brian's voice had just matured as he continued to play with the band. I listened to all the albums, though, but as a result of my mercurial brain, I fell off the band. They didn't consume my ears. There isn't really a specific reason that I can remember. It just happened. Years later, I was listening to the radio and Thunderstruck came on. My brain immediately perked up. The beginning grabbed my attention and held me all the way through. I was working at Kmart at the time, a part-time job that I was walking to each morning. And those walks allowed me to listen to the song more and more. I eventually bought the tape, probably from, that Kmart. Money Talks and Thunderstruck were the standout tracks for me. I would listen to the beginning of the tape over and over again. You see, Thunderstruck was the first song, and Money Talks was the third song. The second song was Fire Your Guns. That song was so lost to time that I actually had to look up the record's track listing. Needless to say, Fire Your Guns was very frustrating to me. You see, when listening to tapes, one was forced to fast forward to get to the song that you actually wanted to hear. There weren't any breaks, like on a CD, where you could simply skip ahead to the track that you wanted to. I would have been forced to try to time how long I should hold down that fast forward button on my Walkman in order to get to Money Talks. After I'd been energized by listening to Thunderstruck. So, no, I wasn't going to do that. So, I would simply allow the song to play, patiently waiting the 2 minutes and 54 seconds until Money Talks. That's how Fire Your Guns really got to be an annoying song for me, and it still is to this day. But that's probably because of my music memories of being annoyed by the wait. Listening to the song today, it's okay. Nothing to be too annoyed about, but times were different back then. In the beginning of my relationship with my wife, she told me how much she loved the band. As one of the AC/DC songs was playing through my computer, probably Thunderstruck, she started to sing along, and then dance around like she was at a concert or something. I watched spellbound. I loved watching her dance to that song, and to this day, I still love watching my wife dance around. She explained to me that her love for AC/DC was more familial. She had several brothers that were really into the band, so naturally she got into the music as well. For her, it wasn't just a powerful guitar or strong vocals that entranced her. It was the feeling of family that she got whenever she heard an AC/DC song. I remember watching the first Iron Man movie with her. She was kind of bored. Superheroes weren't really her thing. But she'd watch them with me. But it was rare that she'd tell me that she wanted to watch a superhero movie. Remember, this was before the MCU or even DC movies were popular. Iron Man started that craze. So we were watching the part where Tony is in the army Humvee and the song starts, Shoot to Thrill. Now, I don't remember ever hearing that song before, but my wife, her attention was piqued. She began to sing along with the song as the movie played. I almost couldn't even hear the movie. I've always been a comic book fan, and that's what drew me to the movie. My wife loved the music. Actually, only that song in the movie. But we finished watching it together, and both of us enjoyed it completely. Today, we still watch all the Marvel movies. I suppose Shoot to Thrill was her gateway into the MCU. And as a comic book nerd, I couldn't be happier. Now, while AC/DC is not regularly played on my devices, it does seem more than your average play in my home. I have, over the years, tried to introduce new AC/DC stuff into the house. I remember pre-ordering the AC/DC Live rock band for us to play. The guy at the counter was so surprised that I actually placed the pre-order. I guess people back then didn't really want rock band track packs that badly. Of course, I was there on launch day, ready to fight the lines for my new game, or, game add-on. But nobody was there. Just the same guy giving me the, "Oh, you showed up. I guess that pre-order wasn't a prank" kind of look. I'm happy to say that I was the first person to get that disc, except that my wife hated it. The songs were taken from an AC/DC concert, and therefore they were the live versions, with audiences and sounds and ad-libs. She likes the studio versions, so that disc has been largely ignored ever since. My wife introduced me to Mistress for Christmas one holiday season. I couldn't actually believe that AC/DC recorded a Christmas song. Well, that Christmas carol now gets played every single holiday season, or whenever my wife is trying to hint about a present that I need to be aware of. AC/DC, at least in my house, is not so much a rock band. I mean, they are, and their music rocks, but to me, it reminds me of family. How my wife's love of their music brings her closer to her family, and how it reminds me of my wife and kids, my family. Thanks for listening to another story that fell out of my head. Do you have a favorite AC/DC song? You should. I mean, everybody should. So, which one is yours? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.